don't think there is any really solid one for men's basketball, men's college basketball specifically, because there are no super dominant teams like we've seen in years past. Everybody, whether they're number one, number two, they can get got. Like this past week, we saw a whole bunch of the top 5 teams lose. UConn was the only one that escaped, upset city. But Kentucky went down, Purdue went down, Tennessee goes down, the list goes on. Kansas goes down. Like Houston went down. Come on. I don't know who is gonna make the Final Four from this college teams, right? From Division I. I think for me, if I had to guess, I would say Kansas will be there because of the program that Bill Self has established. Hunter Dickinson, Kevin McCullough Jr. I think they'll be the backburners, the anchors, KJ Adams. Arizona with Caleb Love and Umar Ballo, Kylan Edwards. I think those guys have a shot. They've looked really good in, top positions or highly contested games. Maybe Purdue, maybe Florida Atlantic, Johnny Davis. I'm riding that train. Terrika always making faces. She always making faces. Oh my God. Yeah, I think that's it, bro. Like, I'm not really sold. You could even throw maybe Duke in there. They're up and down. Like, it's a madhouse, y'all. Yeah. It's a madhouse, Terrika.
Yeah, no, you ain't wrong. I think that Purdue is the best team in the country. I really do. I think Zach Edey is the best player in the country right now. To me, I think Purdue is the squad. And that is exactly why I don't think Purdue is going to make the Final Four. The Big Ten always shoots themselves. The Big Ten always shoots themselves in the foot. And so, if the playoffs and if the tournament started right now, I would certainly have Purdue as a Final Four team. But the Big Ten they never get it done for me. They are a disappointment waiting to happen. So there's that. I would love to see Houston get back to the Final Four, but I also think that Houston disappointed us. They lost back-to-back to unranked teams. You lost to Iowa State, then turned around and lose again to TCU in a winnable game. What is happening? But I think Houston could. I think UConn will actually get back. I think that UConn flies under the radar.
Yeah.
The Big
I
East
forgot about you.
is certainly not. Yeah, the Big East isn't. Big East isn't one of the most difficult conferences. It's not the easiest, but it's not a difficult conference right now. And they're the cream of the crop of the Big East. I mean, the second closest team, probably in my opinion, would be Villanova, and Villanova just lost this week to Marquette. So UConn, and then is that 4? 1, 2, 3, 4? No, that's 3. And then I'll throw a blue blood. Probably I don't Kansas stable. They're the only team in the top 5 this week that didn't move. So yeah, that would be it for me. Yeah, Purdue, Kansas, okay. UConn, and Houston.
I got you. I'm gonna switch out Purdue for UConn because I completely forgot about them. Part of that's probably because I went to Syracuse, can't stand them, so I just removed them from my memory bank. But yeah, UConn, they're a really good team, and when they get fully healthy, it's gonna be hard to stop them, Shari.
This is crazy because I feel like Terrika wiretapped my phone. I have the same teams, literally the same 4 teams. I'm not even joking.
Yep.
For pretty much the same reasons. So I won't even go into detail because she already said everything. But I will say this conversation lends it to a bigger one, which is number one, the transfer portal has completely eradicated everything that we thought about Power 5 basketball. Let's just be honest there. And then it also excites me to actually be able to have conversations that are realistic around mid-major programs, being winners, not just, it's a Cinderella story and they lose in the Sweet 16 or maybe the Elite 8. No, they won the national championship. And I think we have to really be realistic. We are in that time. I think within the next 3 to 5 years, we could really see a mid-major team take it all. That excites me. And the thing about the men's side in particular, it can be unpredictable. That's what I enjoy about it. Yeah. Add this caveat to it. And now I'm also interested to see what recruiting looks like in the years to come, because that's being blown out the water as well. And I mean that in the best of ways. And I think, just for example, for me, I started off at a Big Ten school. I played at Wisconsin for 2 years. Then I transferred to Northern Illinois University, to a program that was a better fit for me. And I was embraced more as a player. And I was able to really have the experience that I wanted ultimately when I graduated high school. So I think opening these younger players' eyes to the opportunity that exists on the mid-major level is a really, really important thing, so that the transfer portal is there, but everybody's not hopping into it because they're actually trying to go to a school that's not a good fit for them. So I'm really encouraged by everything that's happening right now. Terrika, shout out to you, because literally we are on the same page. I got the same form.
No, 100%. And the other thing is, like, we got to realize, how much excitement this is all going to lend to with the transfer portal and finding different fits that are going to match what you need, right? Because sometimes you can say, oh, you're just running away from the grind. But no, there are instances where you need to be set up in a different environment, right?
Absolutely.
And that's really important.
Can I add to that too, though, that I think last year's Final Four really gave us a good sense of what it could be like to have teams that are non-conventional. And I think that's a positive and a negative, right? So positive, it's great to hear new names. It's great to hear new names, get to know new programs. There was no number one seed in the Final Four last year. It was UConn, Miami, Florida Atlantic, and San Diego State, right? So it was great to have different programs from different conferences represented. At the same time, and this could be for more than one reason, but at the same time, I think that the men's Final Four last year was probably one of the most boring Final Fours that I have ever watched. Not necessarily for the play on the court, but because the rest of the world needs to understand that it doesn't have to always be blue bloods in the Final Four every year. So the excitement that you bring when there is a Kansas, a North Carolina, a Michigan State, or a Kentucky or whatever, that's the same kind of excitement you got to give these kids when they don't come from the schools that you conventionally see in these positions. I don't think they did that last year. On the flip side, though, the women's Final Four was lit. And I ain't saying that just because I was there. I'm just saying the women's Final Four was litty. Okay. It was litty. And it was for that exact same reason, because I think the fan base has embraced the parity in the women's game. They love seeing new teams. Fan bases can't wait to come to the Final Four and show out. It's going to be in Cleveland this year. It's going to be cold. They not going to care. They're going to have all of the hats, scarves, gloves, jackets, boots, everything, right? Like they have embraced that there is parity in the women's game. And so, yes, while we still expect to see like a South Carolina as number, which I don't even know if that's an expectation, because I was surprised. I was like, Dawn,
same here.
You know what I'm saying? You got to reload. No, Dawn said, watch me work. Okay. And came like, play.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And so the squad is hitting there. The number one, definitely going to see them in the Final Four. But then you got teams like UCLA. Now, I get it that they lost this year. I mean, they lost this past week to USC. But hello, USC, like this rookie class is different. You know what I mean? Like this rookie class is different this year. So that's, to me, is the difference. Like, I feel like that is why the women's game is just having a bit of a different excitement, because the fans and the media, and we're all embracing the parity. We're wanting the parity. Whereas on the men's side, I kind of feel like they're still stuck in this. If you aren't A, B, or C, then we kind of fall off a little bit, where we need to embrace that on that end as well.
Yeah.
Nah, I couldn't have said it better myself, Terrika. And not only that, but I think the other reason why there's so much excitement around the women's game, in addition to the parity, is because of the stars at such a young age. They just captivate you, whether it's their demeanor or how they play the game. I'm like, oh, we get to see this for 3 or 4 years. Hannah Hidalgo, Juju Watkins, Mylasia Fawali, the list goes on and on. Okay, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm locked and loaded. To your point about the Final Four, I think, South Carolina probably gets in. USC, I know they still have some issues, even after beating UCLA, which is a huge win. I got maybe Florida State. They just upset Virginia Tech the other day. I love what Tanaya Latson does. Sarah Bazzetti and Michaela Timpson on the block. And then perhaps you got LSU coming back, right?
Yeah.
LSU, I know they're not, perfect. No team is perfect. but they're loaded. And if they can, figure out the issues that they have defensively and some of the schemes, they'll probably be back in the Final Four. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun into the year for this ladies group, Shari.
Yeah, speaking of fun, I'm with you. I agree with everything you guys are saying, and just even the additional excitement. Now you got people dunking, just like Ashley Watkins.
Oh yeah,
just
yeah.
coming off a steel fast break. Now we're just dunking in the open court. I mean, the game is blowing up in a way that really excites me. I think women's basketball has been waiting on this for about the last decade. Not even kidding. At least that's my experience of it. So I'm excited about that. I got South Carolina, not only in the Final Four, I got them winning it all. Dawn Staley's a winner. Sorry to tell everybody. And I think she's pissed about not making it to the mountaintop last year. And so I think that, the team is playing with that chip on their shoulder in the best of ways. I just don't see anybody beating them convincingly at this time, and I'm Team Dawn Staley, so I'm excited, and I'm hoping that what I'm saying comes true. Please God. I also have USC in there. Like Juju is just exciting. They're kind of a wild card for me, but I do have them sitting there, and then also have I got LSU, which to Chris's point, they have some things to iron out. Their recent loss to Auburn really showed a lot of chinks in that armor that they have to work through. Yep. So, but I do think that they're more than capable, and obviously you can't beat experience. So, been there, done that. They understand what it takes to win and get back there. So I have to just, out of respect for that alone, put them there. And then I do have Iowa sitting there. I don't think outside of Caitlin Clark, they are the most talented team. But first of all, they work hard. And secondly, they understand that she needs the ball. And the way she is playing right now is out of her body. Like it's a superhuman kind of functionality that she's moving with right now. And so I got to give them the respect, and where they're sitting in the standings right now, I think they could totally make it back there. But South Carolina for me, all the way.
Chris, let me ask you this one thing, or not even let me ask you. I'm just saying, do y'all think we are finally going to see? So we've been seeing women dunk, which is dope. I love it. Like, absolutely love it, right? But I really want to see somebody boss up and be like, I'm about to block this dunk. Like, every time somebody gets ready to dunk in the women's game, it's like, because we're smart human beings, we know what's about to happen. Right. So we back off and let you have it. I just want to see somebody boss up and be like, nah, she ain't about to dunk on me. And like, just do it. Now, you might be a poster.
This is what I'm saying. And with social media now, sis, it's too much of a risk. You just got to move out the way. You got to clear a path. It's too much of a risk.
Stand up.
No, nobody's trying to be on the top 10 plays the next morning.
You ain't running from the grind. You know how many times,
Chris, you want to be a meme? You want to be a meme? That's what you asking yourself in your head.
I didn't run from the grind. I came ready. I said I wanted to smoke. And yeah, I may get got, but I'm gonna get you more times than I get got. Yeah. Ain't nobody scared. Come on, Shari.
Terrika, so last week,
look. I can do the WNBA. Somebody can do it for me in the WNBA. Just when Brittany grow up, I just need Stewie or JJ to be like, nah, son, not on me, you not. And just
look. Here's the deal, though, too. It's like, I think there's an understanding, too, because no shade, women, we real smart like this.
We just
like, knowing that if I let her get this dunk, it's only going to help all of us. So I think it's charitable to move out the way or to not attempt to block it. And I think that's part of it. I really, really do. Because you got to think. Ashlyn was number 2 top 10 plays on ESPN.
She was.
So I mean, it behooves them to move out the way right
she'd
now.
Been number 1 if she'd have dunked in somebody's face. I'm just saying, somebody or better yet, if somebody blocked it. I just want to see it. I just want to see it happen.
Yeah,
I'm trying to help the evolution. That's all.
Everything that will be good for the women's game all around. Somebody getting posterized, somebody blocking it. I'm all the way here for it,